Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. And today we're going to be talking about preparing for a fusion. YST is joining me today. How are you doing, dude?
Do you know what, guys? Like, I'm actually excited for this one because Nub is so famous for all of its speculative stuff with the shards and events
I've
and
got the
the
notepad.
the fancy notepad that he likes to bring out. That notepad must be worth something on eBay now.
It,
So
it must be. It must be. So I wanted to show like the Maragain fusion coming to an end, but I fused her, so she's gone. But her
yeah,
fusion has just ended. So what I want to do with YST, let's look at it. Let's see what are they likely to do for November, December. What do you want to prepare for? Save your shards for, etc. for the end of the year. And yeah, then some tips for the actual events. So you're going to enjoy this, YST. Look at this beautiful,
beautiful. Look at
beautiful
that.
artwork. So guys, this is what I have here. Basically, we've got November and December. So the first thing is these are the 2x events that are likely to happen. It gets a bit crazy down here. This is me going full speculation. You know, I like to do that. But
Yeah.
we're here today. We're recording this on Friday. So the 2x voids. Then in 2 weeks, we're going to have 2x ancients. Then in December, it's going to be 2x sacreds. And then for Christmas, who knows, right? This is going straight through actual Christmas. So I'm speculating they might do like one of each event. Maybe just one day of ancients, one of voids, one of sacreds. We think maybe they did that last year.
Yeah,
Um,
you guys let me know because I do recall
yeah.
some sort of like shard bonanza event where they did like some events. But I can't
Yeah.
recall it exactly if they did, but it
Yes.
just me, just me. Must have had a dream or something. Who knows?
I think you're right. I think I do remember
Yeah.
that. I know they did like 1 week this year. I don't remember when it was, but they had like a week-long summoning thing. I wonder if they might do the same thing for
To be
Christmas.
honest, like the amount of shard events that's out is pretty much up all the time anyway.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the typical thing, it's expected to be 2x voids, but I think they might do something special, but we'll see. So that's basically what we're expecting. Now, the red lines, this is Margain Fusion. So Margain Fusion is ending on the 11th. Now, what I did was I went and I looked at the previous 2 years, and these are actually the exact dates from last year, right, from 2021. So in 2021, the fusion was for Vlad, actually. Vlad ended on the 14th. And then on the 24th of November through to the 3rd of December, they had an epic fragment fusion. And then from the 16th of December to the 31st, they had a full traditional fusion for Tatura Rhymehide. I don't know, YST, what do you think? Because they've already done an epic fragment this year, but I'm expecting them to do the same thing.
You know what? I feel like they will, and the reason being is they've gone back to back with traditional fusions, so not the
Yeah.
fragment style that we all love. And they tend to have done it straight after Lunafaro as well. They threw in the Gorio, and then they done Mighty
True.
Uko, and then the Morrigan fusions and stuff, and Moranix. So I feel like we are kind of due that epic fusion champion, just to kind of drain our resources just before the Christmas fusion, I think. But apart from that, like even with Negorio, I wasn't I think I was against it at first, but the champion was actually pretty sweet for like a vast majority of players. So if it's a champion that I feel like loads of people can get and it's attainable with the events that they put out over the 1 week that they usually do it in, then I wouldn't be completely against it because players can sit and be like, do I care about this champion or can I use this as a time to save up my resources for that December fusion? So you can kind of look at it as a break and not be forced to go for a legendary.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd actually be okay with an epic one popping up.
Let me throw this out to you because I was thinking about this while we were waiting to record this video. Now, if I was Plarium, this is what I would do.
Okay.
I would do epic fragment here because what would make people excited for an epic champion? Well, we've seen it in the last week where we had guaranteed epic champions that people went for because they're from, drumroll please, the new faction. How about this? A fragment event for a new epic from the new faction. I think that is what would get people in to go for an epic fragment, which they otherwise might not go for.
Yeah.
And then I think they could even go in. So last year, they did Alexander, the sharpshooter, as a login reward, right? Login for 7 days, you get the legendary. I think it makes sense as well to do a new champion, a login champion in December. I think they might do a login legendary from the new faction for December. The idea being, look, you get people in, you get them logging in multiple days in December, thinking about the game, playing the game, getting into the game, because it's December. That's like the biggest month for spending in the year. And then you hit them with another fusion halfway through. And yeah, I would love to see either the fusion or a login something be like a freaking Christmas tree for this new faction. I think it fits in. How's that?
Yeah. Oh,
Speculation.
You know what? That's super speculation right there.
Yes.
Now, do you know what? You
Oh
need
my
to
God.
pull up your Photoshop and actually draw the champion one day. I need to see what you think it'd look like.
I could do that. Right, we'll do that. But yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking. I actually think in terms of these dates, I'm expecting maybe if they do an epic fragment, they might move it up to like the Tuesday or the Monday, start it off and end it at the end of November, and then maybe have the December fusion starting on like the 13th or 14th or something. I just think it makes sense. It's what they've done the previous years. I think it makes sense to have people, starting off the fusion they're just actively playing and doing the fusion during the last 2 weeks of the year where it's the most spending of the entire year. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I think even if there was an epic fusion, I'd like it as well, mainly because it is 2x ancients and all of the player base summons over their 2x ancients, right? That's like one of the most famous events that we have in terms of shards.
Exactly.
So if it does happen to do that, I think that's a really good time to do that, right? Because usually it's the summoning events that people get paywalled on. So if you've been saving up your shards, and if a guaranteed event wants to finally come out, who knows? They might. We'll see.
Yeah. So I mean, the interesting question then, in terms of preparing for these fusions, it depends, like, on these dates. So, like, looking at this one in terms of the shard events, right? The big question, I think it's almost definitely going to overlap with 2x ancients, the next fusion. If I'm thinking like it goes here and they don't do this, then we're good. It would skip the summon rush. There's the potential, though, it might go into the summon rush. I think the 2x sacreds is likely to be off on its own. And then I think that you're going to see, again, 2x ancients. Maybe 2x ancients, definitely 2x voids, maybe the others coming in during the Christmas one. But who knows? That one's a bit up for grabs. So that's sort of the expectation. I think you're almost definitely going to have this summon rush, 16th, 17th. Coming in as part of the Christmas fusion. Like, just drain your shards before Christmas so you buy more shards over Christmas, straightforward. Yeah, so I think these are the ones to prepare for. So we'll note that as we go through and we talk about actually preparing for the events and what to do. I guess the other big question as well is, any potential guaranteed events and what to expect and where those could go. I think it's not impossible that we could see, like, some sort of guaranteed event for ancients that were due somewhere here. I still highly suspect we might see a guaranteed for voids on, like, Christmas, especially if they have 2x voids on, which they should. I wouldn't be shocked by that. And then, seeing as we got this random sacred event out in the middle of nowhere, I think you might see like a guaranteed from sacreds maybe somewhere at the start of December, because again, we haven't had one in a long time. It's possible. That's super speculation again, but
yeah.
I don't know. What would you think? Or do you think they're going to do something different? Do you think more guaranteed epics like they've done with the new faction?
I honestly feel like, although I'm like a big fan of both the champions that they put guaranteed events out for, especially Nia that I never managed to summon, and I'm very angry at that.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I feel like they've done the epics, we've done our 2x events, we've had fusions, and people are dry. I feel like they've baited people enough to actually drop that guaranteed event, and they're going to be dry on shards and have to spend money, right?
Yeah.
So I know that, because I see a few comments as well that are like, oh, you guys keep saying that guaranteed events are popping out. But we are 100% due one. I just don't know why they're taking so long.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they was going to do one, in my personal opinion, it's going to be potentially for a new Sylvan Watcher. In my opinion. Hopefully. I hope it's not one of the current ones, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because they need to start filling up the faction, right? As the faction wars will be coming out in, let's just say 4 to 6 months. There's not a lot of champions in this faction, so they need to start releasing some in the near future. So
yeah, it's
maybe even if the fusion was a Sylvan Watcher for Christmas, like you were saying with a Christmas tree, would be good.
It's good. It's gonna be so disappointing now when it's just some normal dude.
Oh, do you know
it's just
what?
some night rev. You're like, boring. Where's my Christmas
tree? It happened to me with
tree?
Morrigan. I looked at her and I was like, what is this, man? Like, they could have done something so spooky.
I liked her. I liked her. She's cool.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's cool. Anyway, right. Let's dive in so the video isn't too crazy long. Let's look at actual individual events. So these are the sort of fusions we are expecting. How do we prepare for them? What should we have? So I basically wrote up the list. These are the key events that you have in every single fusion: Artifact Enhancement, Arena, Dungeon Divers, Champ Training, Champ Chase, Summon Rush. Let's look at Artifact Enhancement first. Any quick tips, YST? We're just going to quick fire some tips so people can prepare and know what to do.
I would say in terms of now, we have the super raids on
Yeah.
for specific dungeons such as the Savage Pieces. I forgot the other ones that was in the events. Is it Speed for Dragon?
I think so, probably, yeah. And then it's 2x for the Sylvan Watchers and Spider. That's a really good one.
Yeah, so basically
Yeah.
these events are really good ones, especially when you're going to start farming accessories such as the Sylvan Watchers for when you start putting champions in the future. So, and also Spider gives you the best silver drops in the game in terms of dungeons. So going for events that you know is for pieces that you really like, whilst we've got these faction tournaments on as well, if you are lucky enough to participate in them, could be a time to start selling some gear that you don't need whilst getting some really cool ones that you do want, and also farming the spider that gives you the most silver to prepare you for these artifact enhancements.
Yeah.
So that would kind of be my tip to start dabbing in events that you actually need gear sets for, and then the remaining silver that you get from selling pieces will be what you keep, right?
Yeah, I guess the sort of corollary tip is be careful of over investing in the specific
Yes.
faction tournaments, spending all your silver gearing up. I've done that. Spend all your silver gearing up these teams, and then you've got no silver left after that. You've spent everything you've earned.
Yeah. Another thing would be in terms of Sylvan Watcher accessories, if you guys wanna, I don't know, maybe prepare some of your pieces to like 12, see how they're
Ooh.
going, and have a lot of pieces like leveled up to 12, ready to take to 16 because
Yeah.
you've already pre-rolled these pieces, so it makes it a lot easier for you.
One thing I like to do is this. You could also do it to level
15s.
11. Yeah, level 11 or 15. So for guys, if you don't know, in artifact enhancement, unfortunately we don't have one open right now, but when artifact enhancement pops, you don't get anything in artifact enhancement for getting to level 13, 14, or 15. You get it for getting to 12 to 16, basically the levels that actually give you a role in one of the substats. So one of the things that can be really helpful is leave your gear at level 11 or level 15, like especially because I think a lot of players, you need to be you're rolling up gear for stuff that you use. Leaving it at 15, you're going to get 90% of the value out of it. And then it's very easy to actually roll it up for the artifact enhancement.
Yeah. I will say it's good to do this as well prior to these events to save a lot of time because there's many times where you have loads of pieces, you're rolling them up on the spot and they're just trash and you're selling them on the spot. Whereas if you start selling pieces that you don't need now, you've already got the silver prepared for when you're actually rolling up the ones you do want. So it's good to know how much silver you've got so you're not short and selling pieces.
Yes.
Because I'm not sure about you, Nub. I find myself in a position where I'm always in the forge, I'm always selling pieces, trying to max up these artifact enhancement events.
Yeah.
But I don't recommend that because forging pieces is actually a great way to get points in CVC. So I kind of incline people to kind of do that forge stuff over CVC instead of last minute silver.
Yeah.
Like with resilience and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there, man. I've been there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it takes approximately 20 million to do each artifact enhancement event. I mean, it really varies. It's a bit loose. I've found in the past that when I just have a bunch of gear at level 15, someone just became a member.
Can we get a shout out for him? Who is
Shout
that?
out, Jason Miller. I can't quite see it. There we go. Jason Milliner.
Jason. What a legend.
Thank you for becoming a member. He joined the Nub Club. Awesome. That's super cool. But yeah, I think I've done like stuff at level 15 and maybe spent about 10 million leveling them up. Like it saves quite a lot. Well, you're spending it in advance, but it means you don't need that much in the bank. I'm a notorious silver spender. So yeah, that's helpful. And you can definitely roll stuff up to like level 8, which gives you a guaranteed bang for your buck instead of gambling on the roll to 16. But that can be slow, but lots of stuff you can do. Basically, just save all your silver, guys. Save everything. Make sure you've got enough.
For me, away from the shard events, I feel like this is the hardest one for me personally, especially in the legendary events when you have to do 2 of them. It's like you do one of them and then you're like dry for the second. So
It can be rough, yeah.
it's rough. It is rough.
For me, Dungeon Divers is the worst, but I can see artifact enhancement sucking, yeah.
I feel like with Dungeon Divers, it's more like just time efficiency, like it just takes longer. But with the silver, you could be stuck in a position where you're just broke.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Yeah, you need to prep for this one. It's really hard to prep for this one. Right, let's go into Arena next. I don't feel like there's much to say about Arena. Do you have any quick tips? I feel like you just do it, right?
Yeah, I feel like Arena is probably the most self-explanatory one. You put in your best teams and all that good stuff. But
just do it.
I'd say if you're a super endgame player, right?
Yeah.
And you don't really, and you're always comfortable in your gold 5 position, maybe just put an easier team for defensive teams. So people that's trying to get their fusion can actually face your teams and not have to reset with gems.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you guys can do that to help out the community base, and you know that you're going to be in gold 5 comfortably, then
I've got a couple of cheeky wins in here. A couple of cheeky wins with
who did you put?
Seeker and Foley.
Don't be like no. He baited with the Foley.
Yeah, I don't know how they lost to it though, but anyway, there we go. But yeah, so like low defense, just stick at the bottom of like gold 5 if it's possible, or low in gold 4. Get the easy wins and farm them up. There's no need to farm hard teams like at the edge of platinum. It just, you're making life harder.
Unless you're participating for like the top rewards in like relentless gear and all that stuff, then understandable, right?
Yeah. All right then. I think this one for me is pretty tricky. Dungeons and dungeon divers. Any tips for preparing for this one?
I'd say like usually probably look out for Nub Raid's amazing fusion plans that he does when they come out.
Oh, look at you.
When it actually releases.
There we go. Look at that. Look at that.
Do you know what? You need to get that frame so I can put it on my wall.
Yeah. You know, every time I go, I do a new one of these, I look back and I'm like, unless you watch the video, you must look at this and go like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah. It's so funny because
indecipherable.
I feel like, do you remember like, I'd say 6 months ago, it never used to look displeasing, and then everyone relied on your graphs to see it like clearly. And the player was like, look at Nub Raids. They're going to try and make it easy for you.
Yeah.
No, but in terms of dungeon and dungeon divers, I'd say look for the double dipping periods where you know that if there's Spider and there's Fire Knight coming up back to back, maybe plan your energy to go in during those times, and then maybe go for your champion training events while those events aren't on, or something like that.
So let me see if I can find an example here. Let's do it in, I don't know, dark green. So where do we have a dungeon divers here? Yeah, so here you can see like floop. We've got Fire Knight overlapping with a bit of dungeon divers, or Spider overlapping in dungeon divers. That's what you're talking about, right? Just a double dip, doing the two at once. And kind of doing stuff like that. So for example, with the Fire Knight right here, you could go and do your champion training for a bit, not worry about the Fire Knight, and then binge Fire Knight on Saturday. It can be risky, like, you know, especially at weekends. I always feel like that can be risky. You know, someone comes over to visit, your relatives come over, and then suddenly you realize that, oh God, it's 7 o'clock at night. I can't do it. But so, you know, be sensible. But
I know another thing would be
as
well, if you guys are limited on energy, maybe like sacrifice going all out trying to win these tournaments, and just make sure you're saving it for the rest of them. Like that's obviously, it sounds simple, but there is many times we get carried away with multi battles or auto clickers and end up wasting all of your energy on these things.
100%.
I'd say just be wary, look at your resources, what can you afford to do, and pretty much go from there, right?
I'm being a bad example right now, but you get, I think, an energy refill that lasts for 99 days in the shop for free every 2 days.
Do you know what?
I've used all mine.
Of that.
Yeah.
I actually
save them.
When you add all that stuff up, I'd actually want to see the maths of what we get in a year. It's insane.
It is a lot, yeah. But you can save those guys, and you should for the fusion. I've used mine foolishly, but yeah, don't get tempted. You can save those up, so it's free energy. I like to keep my energy going and rolling because, you know, again, it's small, but I feel like it adds up over time. So I don't like to overcap if I can help it.
One other thing I would say is if you just go into the is it the Tag Team Arena shop?
Oh yeah.
Yep. So if we go into the Tag Team Arena shop in the bazaar, there's actually an energy thing which has is it a reset of 1 week when you buy it?
Yeah, I think it's once a week. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if you guys do have some spare gold bars, you actually get 300 energy from this. So you can get 600 energy if you buy it now. Buy it next week, then you've got 600 energy for an event.
Yeah, the clan shop shows it up semi-frequently as well. So that stuff.
Maybe something to look out for.
Yeah, I like to keep 2K gems. I remember back when I was like, you know, free to play and before being a content creator, I tried to always have 2K gems in the bank. And that I never ran out of energy during a fusion with 2K gems. I'd rarely need to spend that much. You know, maybe I'd spend about 1,000 on energy refills, you know, a worst case scenario. But I just felt like having that 2K, it's such a nice safety margin. It's like no matter how much energy I need, I should have it and I'll get through. So that's kind of what I feel.
Do you know what I would love one day? I would love for fusions to include the Minotaur's Labyrinth. So you can get points from farming scrolls, so people can actually like work on the champions and actually be enticed to play the Minotaur. Because I know loads of people get carried away with spending 800 gems. It's easier.
Yeah.
But I'm one of the dudes that actually go for efficiency and farm the Minotaur. But it'll be nice for some time to have an event, even if it's not for a fusion, according to farming masteries. That'd be cool.
I used to do that, and I've been really lazy like the last month, and I've just been buying them. It's bad.
Oh, really? It gets costly. When you get loads of new champions like at once, it's like, oh, what do I do here?
I know. I'd be totally up for that. But once they add freaking stage 20, man, where's stage 20 Minotaurs? Wasting our time, Plarium, you evil dogs. Oh, I'm waiting for the good warrior circle, dude. I keep getting these bad ones. I'm gonna buy the good one because I want to buy the new Forge Pass. But anyway, right, champion.
Wait, by the way, while you're on that, do you like the new Forge piece? I'm a big fan of it.
I think it's really good. Yeah, I think
really
it's
strong.
I think it's super strong. I think it's incredible. Defiant gear, super busted.
It's just like a super buffed up version of Stalwart.
Yeah, I guess the good news as well, if you do buy that, let's get rid of these green circles. So that's here. It's going to be up for what, like 4 weeks? It's going to take you through this probably easy fragment fusion. It's going to be gone for December. I don't know. Something to note though, guys, that you have the Forge Pass XP boost and stuff will help you. Hey, there we go. Champ training. Buy Forge Pass, baby. Woo! Dollar signs. Plarium's raking it in. Champ training.
Where's my wallet?
Yeah, I know. Champ training though. This one, a lot of people hate this one. Any quick tips for champ training?
Well, I guess the first ever collab we did was because of a champ training event, which was 9,350 points for a rare.
Oof.
So when we speak about champion training events, they tend to like up the bar, right?
Yeah, it's
obviously
nasty.
we have to look forward to seeing how it's going to be on a fragment style event if they're going to lower the cost. But in terms of traditional ones, it is brutal. So I'd say maybe save up on some champions that you want to rank up and just hold off a little bit longer potentially. Like maybe the new fusion if you don't need them right now.
Yeah.
Could be a time to save those kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think that we'll come to that in Champion Chase as well. But like, if you're able to, with fragment champions, if you're able to summon them during a fusion and then level them up during the fusion, so that like doing a previous fusion will help you with the current one, the next one. I mean, like that's always really helpful. Like wait to level champs up at the very least. Wait to rank them up. That's one thing, right? Because you get points per level. So going from level 1 to level 2 is extremely easy. You get the same points for going from level 1 to level 2 as from level 59 to 60. So it can be really helpful. I kind of find like outside of the fusion, I might go in and like grind out someone that's say level. Let's say I've got someone here that's like level 51, Phoenix. Like, I'm not going to go level him during the fusion. It's going to take so much energy for so little reward, like 80,000. But I could save someone like Morrigan. Okay, now we're talking like 1,600 points. Great. I can level her up and rank her up. Do the low levels that are like just efficient in terms of energy to leveling. Tricks like that.
Even with your bruise as well. Don't get carried away with just blasting them on champions like I do. Like right now, I've got zero. No word of a lie. I have got zero bruise. I haven't even got one. I've got one of the big. Is it the feast or the barrel? I've got one of those, and I've got no actual bruise themselves. Like look at you, you're stacked.
Well, I got super lazy. I just powered up all of the Orns for the fusion. I did all of them with bruise. I've got like none left. And I powered up someone else as well. I don't know. Oh, I pulled Lysandra, and I was like, oh, you know what? YOLO. Let's just power level Lysandra.
Do you know what? It might be a bad idea, right?
No Bruce.
One thing I would love to happen in this game is, do you know when you run out of space with your champion list?
Yeah.
I wish there was a way that you could potentially, instead of sacrificing your rares into a champion, sacrifice it into a brew making machine or something. So if you're sacrificing,
that'd be great.
So if you're sacrificing, let's just say a void rare champion, they give you 30 void brews or something like that.
That'd be so handy.
That'd be pretty cool in the future. Me dreaming again.
I know. It's one of the most annoying things in the game though, is even just managing like these 1 stars and the 2 stars. If they just auto turn into like brews that were free to apply.
That'd be so amazing. Because right now, like, I'm not sure if you guys can relate to it, where you're making space, you're summoning shards, and you're just throwing all of your rares into like an epic. It's just a waste, right?
All right, then. Moving on to Champion Chase, because I got called by my girlfriend and we completely lost the track of what we were talking about. Champion Chase. So what do we think? We got the 2 summon events here. These are, I think, also pretty intimidating. Champion Chase and Summon Rush. What do we think about these?
The only thing that we can think is do your clan boss every day.
Yeah.
Don't get tempted by bait events midweek if you don't need the champions and it's not a guaranteed event. And also, stay on top of your Doom Tower, I'd say, because you get some shards from there.
That's true.
And stay your arena every week. You could potentially get a shard, or if you got some extra gold bars, you can buy them from the bazaar and things like that.
Yeah.
I guess just save up your shards from everywhere you can. Do your dailies and your weekly quests. Get your ancient shards and Pretty much that's it, right? Don't be like me because I'm broke.
Yeah. Okay. So I can throw in a couple of things as well here for these. Number one, I suppose, if we look at the stuff, expecting that Champion Chase is going to be part of the Epic, but probably not Summon Rush. So you're probably good for Summon Rush for a while. But I'd expect both Champ Chase and Summon Rush for a typical fusion. There nearly always is. Luckily, we might be pretty flexible. I think we might be pretty flexible with shards during the December one. We'll see. It's speculation. We'll see. Yeah. I would say for people that want to know the number of shards, I typically say it's usually about 2,000. The last while they've been doing this, 2,150 points for Summon Rush, which is like 4 Sacreds, 150 greens is what I usually do. Now, there's obviously other ways you can do it. You can do it with voids. You can do it all with greens. Every time I do this, dude, I don't know about you, but I see people saying, just do it all with greens, man. I'm like, you want to? They want to put like 2,000 green shards every 3 or 4 weeks. I'm like, how do you get that many greens? How does that even happen? It's crazy.
I only summoned my green shards for the daily quest, right? The free shards.
Yeah.
And I've got 4,200, and I've never done it for a fusion.
There you go.
I don't know how you guys are getting 2,000 every fusion.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's dudes in the comments that they always do it with greens. These madmen. One little tip I can give, instead of doing this, which I always do, is just the lazy click 10. Just summon them 3 at a time. You save 7 greens every day. That does add up to, I guess, a couple of hundred every month or something. Yeah. So, it adds up. It's kind of a nice little bonus, and it can save you some space in your inventory too. So that can be kind of handy. But yeah, so that's something that you can do. But yeah, the Summon Rush is just tricky. You have to pull shards for it. There's no real shortcut. You just need shards. I like to do it with Sacreds because it's quite easy that way if you can get 4 Sacreds. But it can be tricky. Now, for Champion Chase, it's usually, I think, about 2,500 points, which is probably, I think it's 9 Sacreds. If it's a 2x Sacreds, it's, I think, about 50 Ancients, or it's about 25 Voids. So they're, roughly speaking, the minimums I'd like to go in with, just to be safe. Now, obviously, you can do things like fragment summons. Like, for example, I've got 2 epics here. So that's 2 epics. That's 500 points for Champion Chase. That's sitting there. A legendary is 500 points. Voids are even better. They give you more points. So doing that stuff can be really helpful. You can obviously fuse up your broad mods and stuff like that. I never bother, but I know people do. You get some from campaign drops. So there's a few ways that you can get it as well to help. Do you have any sort of tips along that line?
I think you covered all of it in terms of Champion Chase. I would say that we are expecting if you are a spender in this game, we are expecting a Black Friday deal towards the end of the month. Right?
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe if there's something really good out there and you want to go for the December fusion in particular, maybe not the epic one, if it is one, speculation once again.
Yeah.
Then it might be a cheaper way to kind of do that December fusion if you're a spender, right?
Yeah.
But I'd say apart from that, just saving up as much as possible, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Let's say Black Friday / Christmas deals can help.
Those Black Friday packs, from what I remember, are the best ones of the year. From what I remember, anyway. Yeah,
they're always going to be good. Check out someone like Smiley TK. He's going to have breakdowns for how good they are, that sort of thing, and probably others as well. But there you go, guys. That's roughly speaking how you do it. Obviously, as well, if it's a traditional fusion, you can sort of skip some of this depending. Let me take a quick glance at this. So yeah, I think like if it is a traditional fusion, and presuming it starts, let's say, on the 14th, we'd probably have Summon Rush as the first event, so you get the Summon Rush out of the way early. Then you're likely to be able, if it's a traditional fusion, to come in and actually fuse up the epics, like in the Morrigan fusion we just had, fuse up the epics during the Champion Chase, and you'll actually get some points doing that. Like I think for Morrigan, I was able to fuse maybe 2 during Champion Chase. Yeah, something like that for a few extra points. Just makes it a bit easier. But it's something to consider. So yeah, there we go. Look, I think we broke it all down. You guys are super prepared for all the stuff that might not even happen. Excellent.
Wait, how long did this video take compared to the old ones?
So before I edit the video, it's about 30 minutes.
Oh, there we go, guys. So we managed to beat our record. That's pretty impressive.
Oh my god, I edited it down. I think I should just like turn us up to like 10% faster talking speed to make it shorter, more clickable. Anyway.
To be fair, I talk super fast anyway. I always get that in the comments.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, YST, thank you so much for joining me.
No worries.
Guys, as always, YST, you're going to find, I'll have him added, is that a verb? In the title of the description. There'll be a link to his the video we're going to do for his channel down below. Go over there, check out his videos, subscribe, smash the like button, become a member of his channel as well, support all that stuff. Let's do it all. Right. Thanks again for joining me, dude.
No worries.
We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.